Hi guys, welcome back to Last Week on the Internet, a segment on my YouTube channel where we give social commentary on any and everything that caught our attention on Genevieve Naji's internet. Let's get into it. I'm not really excited about today's recap because there's a lot of killing, abduction, attacks that is happening in and around Nigeria. This is just me appealing to anyone out there who has a platform to please speak up on the things that are happening in this country. How you're making your skits, your content, whatever it is, you can also add the things that are happening in the country that you live in because it's getting serious. It has always been serious, but it's getting closer to you than you think, and very soon you might lose all that privilege and free will to go outside and create that content. So use your platform, please. Starting off with the cancer saga that involves Blessing CEO. First off, before I get into the story and have that conversation with y'all, when this whole thing was going on and I saw a couple of headlines here and there, I was wondering who Blessing CEO was because I've never heard that name before. Until I saw the person and I was like, oh wait, I have you blocked on TikTok. And that was because of one stupid video she put out when there was that entire rainbow hair saga happening on TikTok. Yeah, that was, she released one nonsense at that particular point and immediately I blocked her. I didn't even learn her name, I just blocked her because I don't understand how the things that are coming out of your mouth makes any sense to you. But it's honestly just confirmation that whenever I don't like somebody right off the bat after perceiving them in any way, shape or form, I should immediately stay away from them because case in point. Because what do you mean you came out to tell Nigerians that you have been diagnosed with cancer? That your doctor specifically told you that you have stage 4 cancer, only to come out later after asking Nigerians to donate, which they did donate, and gathered up to more than 12 million naira to say that you were diagnosed wrongly by the doctor. And it turns out you don't have cancer. And Nigerians are like, let's see that report real quick. Yeah, the one that you got that told you had cancer initially. Not only was it posted, then debunked by professionals, you then granted several interviews. The first of which I saw, where you were talking about meeting an oncologist who was the one who diagnosed, who then later told you that you don't have it and how it is not your fault. But then also telling Nigerians that you can't refund their money and you can't really do anything about that because it's not your fault. Only for you to grant an interview with a TV station where you were invited, and I don't know if it was to your knowledge or not, but a doctor was also invited to confirm or deny anything that you were about to say. And you were asked to recap the entire saga of everything that has been happening with you. Not only can you not back up what you say, but after every sentence, this doctor is telling you, that sounds off, that doesn't sound right,
Okay.
So I went into the hospital, complained.
Was it a teaching hospital?
No, it wasn't a teaching hospital. It was a private hospital.
Okay, and it has an oncologist. That private hospital has an oncologist.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So walking into the hospital, you go to a normal doctor. I don't even know what they're called, but you went to a doctor, he examined, he found the lumps.
Okay.
That was when he said, let's do a biopsy. I don't know what a biopsy is.
Without an imaging?
No.
That's very strange.
No imaging because...
Is that possible?
It's not possible.
About how they use the machine for your biopsy, but the doctor said they don't use machines for biopsy. Talking about how a doctor whose specialty you are unaware of was the one that was checking you up first before you were first sent to the oncologist. Mind you, this was part of the story that was not added in the initial state. Okay. Now what I'm hearing is that apology videos are dropping from you here and there about the situation. Nigerians, they know rate for now. They know rate for now. They know rate us. Do you know why? Because not only is the story not making any sense, there was no effort to try and back up anything. Nigerians are such interesting people. I used to wonder how angry you wanted us to be when people say Nigerians are not angry enough. But in the midst of everything that's happening in our climate right now, and there's somebody coming to add this nonsense into it, and hearing that no arrest has been done, nothing, no justice, nothing, after coming to the public to lie, to solicit for funds, and having the mouth to say after being told to return the money, how much the Nigerians even donate to me? They're no rate to now. Honestly, and that's all I'm gonna say on this story. Because if we had any self-respect, some things would have been done. But look at our country now. Look at what is happening. There's no fear in even scamming us anymore. People are just doing anything they want. From the tiniest of signs, we are slowly headed towards a point of anarchy. That's what I'm gonna say. Lagos stinks. My morning walks are always an assault to my nose. I visited Lagos in 2022 and that was the first time in my entire life. And I say before the people greeted me, the smell did. And after that, I visited Lagos 3 more times in the same year. And I haven't been since. But seeing as Nigeria's economy is failing and so many things are going to shambles, it is no shock that Lagos is smelling even more than it was in 2022 when I was there. Which is why I find it so crazy when a couple of years ago, I think it was 2024 or 2025, someone came out to talk about how Lagos stinks and everybody lost their shit. Lagosians coming out to defend Lagos as if you don't live in that stinking state. And mind you, it's not just Lagos that stinks so. There are so many places in this country. In fact, I feel like Nigeria as a whole stinks. in more ways than one. But you see Lagos particularly. You people should please tell me what it is you are defending. Because if you tell me that Lagos doesn't stink, the next thing I'm asking you is if you have seen a doctor for your sensory issues. Because you clearly have no sense of smell. A pastor going by the name Iren, I'm pretty sure some of you know him, came out to speak about how so many men of God find it hard to speak up against political leaders because so many of their congregation members support them. He went on to speak about how Christians should align their religious beliefs with their political beliefs, saying further that they cannot be expecting kingdom come when they are supporting bad governance. And I know everything that he said is supposed to sound like a defense for why pastors and men of God don't speak up, but it actually is quite literally the opposite. It actually instead shows what they are aligned with and where their loyalties lie. And their loyalties lie in their pocket. Because if you claim to be a truth teller, that should be evident in every area of your life, not just in your mission of spreading the word of the Bible. When you know the truth, you see the truth, and you refuse to speak up about it, that is a form of lying. It is also a form of support for said evil that you are speaking up against, or you should speak up against, because you keep allowing it to continue. Your silence permits it to continue. So no, this doesn't defend pastors for not speaking up politically. It honestly exposes them, and any well-thinking person should not align themselves with any pastor that is not speaking up politically, because your churches exist in this political climate. The people that are in your congregation are affected by the decisions made in this political climate. But you are coming out to tell us that the reason you cannot speak up so that even these people would know better to help themselves through what you would say is because some of the people, or if not more than some of the people in your congregation, support the people that you want to speak up against. Which tells me that your greatest fear is losing your congregation and losing so many people that could be exploited in your churches. These pastors do not care about you. Even men of God are compromised. I hope you people know. A 48 hours curfew was imposed in Jos after gunmen opened fire at an open bar, killing 26 people. Mind you, it is not clear how many people died during the attack and during the retaliation. Actually, there have been several killings and attacks in Jos over the past couple of days. And in a visit from our president to Jos, and I say to Jos because he got to Jos airport but did not leave, the families of the victims of the attack were brought to the airport to receive condolences from the president. And from the airport, he left the state. Less than 48 hours after Tinubu was in Jos, 15 miners were attacked and killed. And this is just one state in Nigeria. There's also killings happening in Kaduna. Churches are being attacked, people are being abducted. There are also killings happening in Nasarawa. People are being killed, houses are being burnt, people are being displaced. But the governors recently organized and celebrated the president's birthday. Citizens are being arrested and detained for shouting "no light, no water" during the visit of government officials, which, mind you, is the truth. And I'm telling you that we have experienced the worst of no light, no water throughout March. We're in April and we're still experiencing it. While trying to complain for basic amenities so that we can survive this country, we are also trying to get the government to take our killings seriously. And while people are being killed, Chief of Defense is talking about rehabilitating terrorists because of the prodigal son story in the Bible. I will say this in every last week on the internet. Who is holding our calabash? We want to know so that we can come and beg. Because the things that are happening in this country, you guys, it's not normal. People are being killed in their own countries, but the government only care about campaigning for the next election. And while we are also talking about elections, mind you, elections are like less than a year away. In January. But it is now that INEC wants to start a revalidation process for previous registered voters. In less than a year in this country where nothing works, you guys want to register, re-register 90 million plus voters before January, when there are still people that have not even collected their PVC from years ago. And while all this is going on, Nigerians are still being threatened by tax policies from the government. Being a Nigerian has never been as exhausting as it is right now. I want you to know that the tiredness that you feel is a collective tiredness. Honestly, as a Nigerian, I want you to know that nobody is fighting for you but you. And I think that is so scary. Social media activists are compromised. In-person activists are compromised. Politicians were never your friends, to be very honest. The police, hell well. We are existing in a country that is not safe in any climate, any sphere, anywhere that you put it. But we are moving and acting like we are not scared. And I find that crazy. But anyway, I wanted to end this week's last week on the internet with the question, what was the best movie you have seen so far this year? I'm going to tell you my answer next week. However, follow me on TikTok. I just dropped a movie review for Funke Akindele's movie Behind the Scene. People are really going off in my comments right now, so you probably enjoy that. Follow me on Instagram, where I'm mainly advertising my book, which will be out on the 12th of April. Follow me on Twitter if you want to, or anywhere else. But remember to subscribe. All right, guys. See y'all.